liked issue 18, but I did have some gripes with it. Like in the beginning, because once Flash leaves where they're at, the warehouse that they're at in issue 17, he goes looking for Betty right away. And so he sort of like breaks into her apartment and he's calling her and she won't answer her phone. So he like punches a hole in the wall to the kitchen and then he finds a note on the refrigerator, and I'm pretty sure Betty doesn't live with anybody. So, and the note on the refrigerator says coffee with Peter, Empire Java, 7 a.m. And I thought it was kind of funny how, unless I'm wrong, unless she does live with somebody, why she would leave a note to herself of where she's going to be. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. And then this is the first part of this is pretty much Betty and Betty just telling all her emotions about Flash to Peter and just letting it all out, talking to Peter, and they're in the coffee shop, and so Peter goes away because he has to go to work, and Betty stays a little bit after just to get her emotions straight. And right behind her, she goes to the counter, order another coffee, and right behind her, Jack-o'-lantern, he not in his costume and everything, just in regular clothes. He comes up behind her, and as if just to run into her, and that was another part that I didn't like, not because of how it's put into this issue, just me personally, because when I read this issue, I didn't have issue 10. I never had read issue 10 where Betty and Jack first meet, so the fact that Betty knew who Jack was, I was like, I mean, they have a point here. They have a little thing that tells you how they know each other, a little point that they put. But just me personally, I would have really liked to have read that, or to have read that issue before reading this. The first time I went out and read this, I have all of them now. But so yeah, that was another one, but that was just me personally. So Jack pretends to be Betty's friend, and he's trying to separate her from the coffee shop, and because that's the plan, is to hurt her, and so he's like pulling her away, and that's when Flash bursts into the coffee shop. Really good panel right there. And Jack kind of makes Betty feel like Venom's the bad guy, with like a kind of sarcastic way of talking. Like what he says is, "Oh no, it's the terrible supervillain Venom." So just the way he says it, it's kind of weird, or not weird. It's kind of funny how he gets people to turn on, or gets Betty to turn on Venom, and so Betty sprays some sonic pepper spray on Flash, which sonic sounds, of course, irritate the symbiote, and then he tells Betty to run away, and just the way that Jack talks in this issue, it's just sickening, but it's such good writing by Remender. He just, when I first read these issues, Jack-o'-lantern got on my nerves so much throughout this whole series, but especially in these issues in the Savage Six, and it's such good writing by Remender. When you can bring out great emotion in your readers, I think that's when you're writing a really good story. So he kind of just starts beating up on Jack, and that's when Megatech comes in, and this is when I really started to like Megatech, when they introduced the fact that he can just come out from any computer or any cell phone in the city. So now that really stumps Flash, because now he's in a big situation where he really can't handle it on his own, but he can't contact the Avengers and he can't call anybody because whenever he tries to call somebody, Megatech just comes out of the phone. So that was really good planning on Remender and Bun's part. Yeah. Another thing I liked in this was the art by Medina, Lan Medina. I really like Lan Medina's art because it's cartoony, but it has a realistic feel to it, and I like how they used Medina for most of the story arc. They used him from issues 18 to 21, and on issue 17 they used Kev Walker, who has a very similar style to drawing or to cartooning as Medina. So when I first read it, I didn't actually notice the difference. So I think that's pretty good because I really like the way he draws the way he draws Venom. Another really cool part in this is when Betty, she keeps on fighting Venom because Flash, she doesn't know that Flash is Venom, so she keeps fighting him, thinking that she's trying to hurt him, and then he kind of just like yells at her, like he starts to lose control and he starts getting aggravated, and once he starts calming himself down, then you get to see some real action where Toxin comes in, and so Venom and Toxin fight it out, and a really, really cool panel right there. See Toxin, big red monster, and Venom. And there's another really cool panel of this fight. So Betty runs away during this fight, and another really cool panel happens where Toxin has Flash right where he wants him, and he's talking about how, first of all, Toxin always refers to Venom as grandfather, and I thought that was pretty cool, and he just keeps going on with how he's gonna destroy Venom for the spawning, and then he talks about how he can smell the sedatives that the Avengers put into the symbiote to keep Flash from losing control, and he refers to that as letting his host neuter him, and I thought that was pretty cool. And so Flash, he has the sonic pepper spray, and he hits Brock with it, and so the symbiote goes crazy. And here was one thing that I thought didn't make sense, but it could make sense if you look at it another way. Right here, Flash says that Eddie Brock and the symbiote are weakened, and now right there, he's about to he's thinking about just shooting Brock right there, but instead he just webs him up and just leaves him there. Now, what he could have done was just take Brock out of the symbiote and destroy the symbiote instead. So that was one thing that I was like, had he handled that differently, it could have gone a lot better for him, but would have made the story a lot less interesting. So I'm glad he did. And then the biggest like I had in this was the reveal when Flash finally reveals himself as Venom to Betty, and that right there is what made this issue, what was already a great issue from start to finish, the finish was just extraordinary. But then it just got one upped in the next issue.